In a small, forgotten town on the edge of a vast, dark forest, strange things began to happen. The town, called Hollow Creek, had long been isolated from the outside world. It was a place where the streets seemed empty and the houses stood as silent witnesses to the passage of time. But one fateful summer, the town was torn apart by a series of horrifying deaths. It started with a local farmer named Henry. One evening, after returning from his fields, he vanished without a trace. His wife, desperate and terrified, searched every corner of their house, but there was no sign of him. The only thing she found was a strange, blood-stained symbol carved into the floorboards of their bedroom. It looked like an eye with long, twisting tendrils. The townspeople were shocked, but they tried to dismiss it as a tragic accident. That is, until 3 more residents disappeared in the same eerie manner. Each time a similar symbol was found in their homes, and each time there was no sign of struggle. They just vanished. It wasn't long before rumors spread. Some claimed they had seen strange figures lurking in the shadows of the forest at night. Others spoke of a creature, an ancient being, known as the Silent Watcher. According to the legends, the creature would appear to those who were most vulnerable, using its mind to take control of its victims. It was said to be able to move in complete silence, its steps undetectable, and once it had its grip on someone, they would never be seen again. Sarah, a young woman who had grown up in Hollow Creek, couldn't shake the feeling that the stories were true. She remembered her grandmother's warnings about the Watcher, told to her when she was just a child. "If you ever hear footsteps behind you but see nothing, run. It's too late if it's already close," her grandmother had whispered. One night, Sarah decided to investigate the mysterious deaths. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and her determination, she ventured into the forest, where the townspeople had begun to gather their courage and search for clues. The air grew colder with each step, and the deeper she went, the darker it became. Suddenly, Sarah heard it, soft footsteps behind her. She turned quickly but saw nothing. Her heart raced. She called out, "Is anyone there?" But there was no answer, only the echo of her voice lost in the woods. The footsteps continued, growing louder and closer. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. She could feel it. Whatever it was right behind her. She began to run, branches tearing at her skin as she pushed through the underbrush, but the footsteps kept pace with her, never slowing. In a panic, Sarah stumbled upon an old abandoned shack deep in the forest. She rushed inside, hoping to hide. As she leaned against the door, trying to catch her breath, she noticed something terrifying. The symbol. It was etched into the walls of the shack, the same symbol that had been found at every victim's home. Then she heard a whisper in her ear, so faint that she almost thought it was her imagination. "You're too late," the voice hissed. Frozen with fear, Sarah spun around. Standing in front of her was a tall, thin figure. Its face was hidden in shadow, but its eyes, those dark, hollow eyes, pierced through her very soul. The Silent Watcher. As it moved toward her, Sarah tried to scream, but no sound came out. The creature's tendrils of dark energy wrapped around her, pulling her towards it. She could feel her body growing colder, her mind becoming numb, as if the creature was draining her very life force. In the final moments before everything went black, Sarah managed to think of one thing, her grandmother's words. "Run, if you hear the footsteps." But it was too late. The Silent Watcher had claimed its latest victim. The next morning, the town found Sarah's lifeless body at the edge of the forest. Her eyes were wide open, staring into nothingness. In the forest, the symbol was etched into the ground where she had last been seen, and the footsteps were still there, lingering in the silence. The people of Hollow Creek never spoke of the Watcher again, but some say if you listen closely on quiet nights, you can still hear the footsteps of the Silent Watcher, always waiting for the next victim. This story combines mystery, fear, and an ancient evil that lurks just out of sight, ensuring its grip on the town remains unbroken. The creature's presence builds an eerie sense of terror, with each death adding to the chilling atmosphere.